From the sun-drenched beaches of Portugal to the soaring skyscrapers of Japan, the world beckons with the promise of adventure and a fresh start. Instagram feeds overflow with images of smiling expats seemingly living their best lives in exotic locales. But is it all a carefully curated facade? The truth, as always, is far more complex. Behind those idyllic snapshots lie countless untold stories, tales of shattered dreams, cultural clashes, and the harsh realities of starting over in a foreign land. For every expat basking in the glow of a successful transition, countless others struggle to adapt, their hopes dashed against the rocks of unexpected challenges. Thinking of escaping to paradise? These 10 countries might look perfect on Instagram, but for many expats, they turned into nightmares. Before you pack your bags, watch this. Ah, Canada, land of majestic mountains, pristine lakes, and crippling living costs. Indeed, while this North American nation boasts an enviable quality of life for its citizens, the story for newcomers can be starkly different. Many arrive, lured by the promise of a welcoming society and a strong economy, only to find themselves ensnared in a web of financial strain. Imagine trading your life savings for a cramped apartment in Toronto or Vancouver, the rent so exorbitant that it devours your income. Suddenly, the dream of exploring Canada's vast wilderness on weekends feels like a distant fantasy. You're trapped in a cycle of work and bills, the weight of financial pressure a constant companion, and then there's the weather. While Canadians embrace their long winters, for those hailing from warmer climates, the relentless cold and snow can be a shock to the system. London, with its iconic red buses and charming pubs, has long held a certain allure for those seeking a taste of British culture. But beneath the veneer of history and grandeur, lies a city grappling with soaring living costs and a strained social fabric. For expats, the dream of sipping tea with the Queen can quickly turn into a nightmare of navigating overcrowded tubes and battling for a spot on the property ladder. The cost of renting in London is nothing short of astronomical. Tiny flats, often in need of repair, command exorbitant prices, leaving expats with little choice but to share cramped living spaces or settle for long commutes from the outskirts of the city. The dream of owning a home, a cornerstone of the British identity, feels like an impossible feat. And then there's the weather. The UK is notorious for its grey skies and unpredictable showers. Portugal, with its sun-drenched beaches, charming villages, and laid-back lifestyle, has become a magnet for expats seeking a slice of European paradise. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic nation lies a harsh reality, one of low wages, rising living costs, and a widening gap between locals and foreigners. The allure of Portugal's low cost of living is quickly fading. As more foreigners flock to its shores, driving up demand for housing and goods, prices are skyrocketing. What was once a haven for budget-conscious expats is now becoming increasingly out of reach. For those relying on local employment, the situation is even more dire. Wages in Portugal are notoriously low, particularly in the tourism and service industries that many expats gravitate towards. Making ends meet can be a struggle, leaving little room for savings or enjoying the very lifestyle that drew them to Portugal in the first place. The language barrier can also be a significant hurdle. Chapter 4, France Love-Hate Relationship. Ah, France, the land of romance, fine dining, and impenetrable bureaucracy. Indeed, while this European nation holds an undeniable allure, the reality for many expats is a far cry from the romanticized ideal. Instead of strolling hand in hand along the Seine, they find themselves grappling with paperwork, navigating cultural differences, and battling the infamous French administration. The French language, often considered one of the most beautiful in the world, can also be a formidable barrier for newcomers. While English is widely spoken in tourist areas, venturing beyond the beaten path can be a linguistic minefield. Simple tasks, like ordering a coffee or asking for directions, can become exercises in frustration, leading to feelings of isolation and exclusion. And then there's the French bureaucracy. Known for its complexity and rigidity, navigating the administrative system can be a nightmare for expats. Chapter 5. China, the Middle Kingdom Maze. China, with its booming economy and futuristic cities, beckons as a land of opportunity, but beneath the gleaming facade of modernity lies a complex and often challenging reality for expats. Navigating cultural differences, overcoming language barriers, and adapting to a society where surveillance is the norm can be a daunting task. The first hurdle for many is the language. While English is increasingly taught in schools, it's far from widely spoken. Daily interactions, from ordering food to asking for directions, can become exercises in charades and miscommunication. Chapter 6. Japan, lost in translation, literally. Japan, the land of the rising sun, captivates the imagination with its unique blend of ancient traditions and futuristic technology. But beneath the surface of this seemingly harmonious society lies a complex and often isolating reality for expats. From navigating cultural nuances to overcoming language barriers, adapting to life in Japan can be a journey fraught with challenges. The Japanese language, with its 3 writing systems and intricate honorifics, presents a formidable barrier for many newcomers. While English is taught in schools, it's far from widely spoken, particularly outside major cities. Simple tasks, like ordering food or asking for directions, can become exercises in frustration, leaving expats feeling isolated and unable to fully engage with their surroundings. Japanese society, while renowned for its politeness and orderliness, can also feel rigid and unforgiving to outsiders. Brazil, with its vibrant culture, breathtaking landscapes, and infectious energy, beckons like a siren song to those seeking adventure and a life less ordinary. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic nation lurks a darker reality, one of stark inequality, rampant crime, and a constant undercurrent of danger that can shatter even the most idyllic expat dream. While tourist hotspots might offer a sanitized glimpse of Brazilian life, venturing beyond the carefully curated facade reveals a different story. Poverty and wealth exist side by side, often separated by just a few city blocks. This stark disparity fuels a climate of crime that can make even the most seasoned traveler feel vulnerable. Petty theft is rampant, particularly in crowded areas and on public transportation. Pickpockets operate with deft precision, relieving unsuspecting tourists and expats of their valuables in a flash. Even more concerning are the more violent crimes, from armed robberies to carjackings, which can occur even in broad daylight. Mexico, with its vibrant culture, delicious cuisine, and stunning beaches, has long been a popular destination for expats seeking a more affordable and laid-back lifestyle. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic paradise lies a complex reality, one of corruption, crime, and an unreliable infrastructure that can quickly turn the dream into a nightmare. While tourist hotspots might offer a sanitized glimpse of Mexican life, venturing beyond the resorts and gated communities reveals a different story. Corruption is endemic, permeating every level of society, from local police to government officials. Bribery is often seen as a necessary evil, a way to expedite services or avoid bureaucratic hurdles. Crime, particularly drug-related violence, casts a long shadow over many parts of Mexico. While tourist areas are generally considered safe, venturing off the beaten path can be risky. Cartel activity, turf wars, and kidnappings are a grim reality in certain regions, making it essential to research destinations carefully and exercise extreme caution. Belarus, often referred to as Europe's last dictatorship, presents a unique set of challenges for expats. With its authoritarian government, limited personal freedoms, and a society steeped in Soviet-era mentality, adapting to life in Belarus can be a daunting task, even for the most adventurous souls. Freedom of speech, a cornerstone of democratic societies, is severely restricted in Belarus. Public criticism of the government, its policies, or the president can result in harassment, intimidation, or even imprisonment. This climate of fear and self-censorship can be stifling for expats accustomed to expressing their opinions freely. The media landscape is tightly controlled by the government, with independent journalism virtually non-existent. State-run television, radio, and newspapers dominate the information sphere, offering a carefully curated and often propagandistic view of events. Access to objective news and information can be a challenge, requiring reliance on VPNs and foreign media outlets. India, a land of vibrant colors, intoxicating aromas, and ancient traditions, beckons with the promise of a life-altering experience. But beneath the surface of this captivating chaos lies a complex and often challenging reality for expats. From the relentless assault on the senses to the frustrations of navigating a developing country, adapting to life in India requires resilience, patience, and a healthy dose of humor. The first thing that hits you is the sheer intensity of it all. From the cacophony of car horns and bustling crowds to the assault of exotic spices and vibrant colors, India bombards the senses like nowhere else on Earth. It's an exhilarating, overwhelming, and utterly exhausting experience, particularly for those accustomed to more subdued environments. Poverty is widespread, and the disparity between rich and poor is stark. Beggars line the streets, their pleas for money a constant reminder of the harsh realities faced by many. As we've seen, the allure of expat life can be deceiving. The dream of starting over in a new land, often fueled by romanticized notions and carefully curated social media feeds, can quickly crumble when faced with the realities of cultural differences, economic challenges, and the often overlooked complexities of building a life from scratch in a foreign country. 18% of expats left India, but they're not alone. Many dream of a better life abroad, only to realize paradise isn't always perfect. Before you make the leap, research deeply. A new country might change your life, for better or worse. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.